without Draymond Green having lost 5 in a row, this, I think, has got to feel the best of any win they've had this year.
Yeah, big win for the Warriors as they get the job done tonight at home. They beat the Houston Rockets. 99-93 is the final here. Chase Center behind us. We're coming to you from Harmonic Brewing. How did they do it? As Bob Fitzgerald asked, well, they did it thanks to a career night from Jonathan Kaminga. 33 points for Kaminga and a big fourth quarter as well for Kaminga as he led the Warriors now to really the second win that they've had over the last 5 weeks against the Houston Rockets. So we welcome you into Dubs OT with JD here on KNBR, the sports leader from Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City. And it's a Greg Silver night here as well on Dubs OT. Greg, good to be with you, my man.
Hey, good to be with you. I mean, this is a lot more lively and popping than what we experienced the last time I was here. Wearing the same hoodie. Shout out to the Valkyries. Expansion draft tomorrow. But right now, this is about the Dubs. And we have a lot of takeaways. We're going to get all into this. But here's takeaway number one, JD. This Warriors team is not last year's Warriors team. Yes, they have some similarities. Yes, the blown leads are still a concern. But the fact that they play defense at a high level against a really good team like the Houston Rockets does not count for nothing. And any win without Steph Curry, let alone Steph and Draymond, I don't care who you're playing, that counts. Way to snap the losing streak. And the schedule doesn't get any easier, so you got to protect home floor. That's what they did tonight.
Yeah, 808 KNBR, 415-808-5627, the number to give us a call or shoot us a text here. We've got some beers on the way, but we get things rolling. Now, Greg, I don't know if I trust myself to start there. We've been doing a lot of heavy lifting here. It's a little shaky hand there as we get everything set up technically out here at Harmonic Brewing. Great to have Greg Silver on hand for a chunk of the show tonight. Really appreciate that. And, tonight was really Jonathan Kaminga night for the Warriors. Point blank, end of story. Andrew Wiggins along for the ride as well. But 14 of Kaminga's career-high 33 were in the fourth quarter. He had a career-high in field goal attempts with 22, 13 for 22, and the Warriors isolated him for the game-winning shot. Basically said, hey, take the Rockets to the bucket, and he did to finish the deal. Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Draymond with the chest bump. Steph with a chest bump for Kaminga. Second time, as I mentioned this year, that Kaminga's done it to the Rockets. We've discussed a lot about some of his struggles in the fourth quarters of some other games where he's actually played pretty well. But 2 games against the Rockets. And interestingly enough, and I think this is, as we give Kaminga his flowers tonight, I think going to be part of the conversation moving forward. Both times that Kaminga did this against the Rockets, both times Steph Curry was out and Draymond Green fouled out of the game in Houston. So Draymond was also out at the end of that game where he had the big overtime against the Rockets. But they cleared it out for him, and he delivered in a big way. He was locked in from the jump. He had 8 points in the first 3-4 minutes of the game. And what could prove to be a breakout-type career performance from Kaminga. He looked in command tonight. He did a lot of the things effectively that you can see he wants to be a part of his game. The little pull-ups, the putting your head down and making an extra move to get to the basket, the taking the open three-point shot with confidence. There were a couple of forces, but nothing out of the realm of crazy for a night where the Warriors don't have Steph Curry and you need to have him take 20-plus shots. He was in control, in command, and excellent flat out in this game.
So I'll get to Kaminga in a second. I think that this is a team in which we're allowed to be critical when it's time to be critical, as they were with the 5-game losing streak and blowing some bad fourth quarter leads. We also got to give credit where credit's due. I'm going to start with Brandon Podziemski. Yeah, still the shooting still got a ways to go, but Brandon Podziemski, not only has the Bay Area fan base been on him after the Warriors talked about how they think he's a future all-star and they think that he was damn near untouchable at the trade deadline, last offseason trades. But Brandon Podziemski upped his game in a lot of categories tonight. I think he ripped down a career high in rebounds, and that was one of the strengths that he does as a guard. Podziemski deserves some flowers for how he responded after getting called out publicly by his head coach.
Yeah.
Kevon Looney, the unsung hero of this game. This is a team that take away Steph Curry, take away Draymond Green. You look at it largely as a youth-driven team that has the ability to ascend in a lot of good pieces. Kevon Looney, don't forget about him as a veteran leader. He's not just good defensively, he's great defensively. His experience and what he's seen out there, the way he was able to force, I think it was Jalen Green out of the pass for the Gary Payton steal, Jonathan Kaminga dunk. That's a pivotal play in the fourth quarter that makes waves. It contributes to the win. And, of course, with Jonathan Kaminga, the 33 points, he's had some nights where he fills up the stat sheet, JD, and we kind of look at each other and say, okay, but that doesn't really mean anything. It's more about how he does it. And tonight, he did the best version of Jonathan Kaminga. He decided to focus on what he's good at.
Hey, how are you? Thank you.
He decided to focus on what he's elite at. We shout out the people that are walking by.
Hey, how are you?
Before I talk about, get in here.
Come on over. Say hi.
Do you know who this is? This is Danny in Vancouver.
I know Danny. Okay. Hi. Nice to see you, Danny. No,
say come into the camera.
Say
to the chat.
Not at all. Say hi. We are on the air, but we got dual cameras.
Yeah,
I figured.
Yeah. So we got Danny in Vancouver checking in as he's done. I think this is, I want to say, third time.
No, I've been quite a few times.
I was going to say, but third time I think on the show. Yeah, where you've stopped by on the show, but you've come a lot. Yeah, no. Yeah, Danny's been coming for years, and even in the prior radio life, Danny enjoyed the show, and now a couple of times here on the move over to KNBR.
Last month has been my savior, so believe me, it's like my
absolutely. Go ahead. Let's let Danny. Yeah, do you want to comment? Okay, that's okay. All good.
That was fun. Is that a career high for Kaminga?
Career high for Kaminga, 33. Career high field goal attempts, 14 in the fourth quarter, and in command. He looked like for all of the times we've discussed how he believes he can be a Kawhi, or he believes he can be a Paul George, or he believes he can be a Kobe, a guy that was his idol. Tonight was really the first night where I thought for the biggest part of the game, he looked like that. In actually taking some of those shots with confidence and making them. He just looked in command and in control tonight. Danny, thank you so much for stopping by. And feel free to take advantage of the thank you, Danny. Danny in Vancouver.
That was my first meeting in person with Danny in Vancouver, so I was understandably really excited.
Yeah, no, and you should be. Yeah. No. Danny always stops by, and we love to have Danny out here to say hi as well. 808 KNBR, 415-808-5627. That is the number to give us a call or shoot us a text here. Let's get it going on the phone lines with Chris in Fairfield, who's up first here tonight. Kyle Harback in our San Francisco studios. Our tip-off caller of the night is Chris in Fairfield. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. How are you doing tonight? That was a great
Hey,
win.
we're doing great.
Thank you. So I have just 3 points. Tonight we saw something that we've really been wanting to see, but it's more so so Dylan Brooks tonight. At the end of the game, in the fourth quarter, he had to make decisions who he was going to guard. Was it going to be Wiggs or was it going to be JK? And Kerr left them both in the game, and whoever he wasn't guarding had a complete mismatch, and that's how we ended up winning the fourth quarter. We haven't been able to win the fourth quarter because we haven't established that the best defender and in between having Wiggins and JK on the floor at the end. He was hitting some shots. He really was. And if you look at our possible new starting lineup, if we have everybody healthy and we have Curry at the 1, Wiggins at the 2, JK at the 3, Draymond at the 4, and Looney at the 5, we could actually perform something that would be quite amazing. We could do some type of a ball movement triangle offense. And with the ability of Curry being like Michael Jordan, everybody has to constantly look at him. If JK can do what he is doing tonight with Curry on the floor, it will be easier.
Well, that's the question.
That's
the question.
21. This is a 21, 22-year-old kid. This is only the beginning. This isn't like Scottie Pippen at 28, 27, or 26. And this is kind of what it's looking like at a very early stage. We have the defenders. We have the offense. If, like I said, if Wiggins can play the 2 and JK can play the 3, we know.
I think that lineup's done. Chris, I think that I don't mean to rain on your parade, and it is a career night for Kaminga, but I think the days of Wiggins at the 2 and Kaminga at the 3 and the Warriors playing Draymond at the 4 with a center, whether it's TJD or Looney, I think that's over. Kaminga thrives when he plays the 4, and he played exclusively the 4 tonight. That doesn't mean you can't bring him out high and let him, drive like he did. I think you're spot on in terms of the way the Warriors managed down the stretch. It was basically going to be Dylan Brooks. If you're going to be on Wiggins, you're going to go to Kaminga. I thought the best play of Kaminga's night, other than the one that clinched the game with the layup, was when Van Vliet ended up on him, and he just took him right down into the post and made Van Vliet foul him, and he split a couple of free throws, but it put the Warriors up 5, one of the many big buckets he had in the fourth quarter. But he doesn't play well at the 3, and he didn't when he started this season at the 3. And I'm not going to say that we know definitively he can't play with Steph Curry or he can't play with Draymond Green or anything like that. Like, I'm not going down that road at all tonight. Tonight's not really for that to be the headline as well as he played, but there is something to be said for Kaminga does this when he knows he's the number 1 option, comes out aggressive from the jump, plays so well that he earns the right to be the number 1 option down the stretch, and then just has the freedom to kind of do whatever he wants. Like, the problem for Kaminga has been fitting the best aspects of his game into the Warrior system with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. So great night for him, but I think the ways that he has to be successful playing with Steph Curry are when it's him and Wiggins out there and Draymond at center, and maybe a Podziemski out there down the stretch as well. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. No, I appreciate it. 808 KNBR, 415-808-5627. Dubs OT tonight with JD here at Harmonic Brewing and Greg Silver. It's a Greg Silver night here on Dubs OT. And, yeah, a lot of the discussion about just the lineups down, how does Kaminga do this in a lineup with Steph Curry and Draymond Green? And Chris saying, hey, if Wiggins can play the 2 and Kaminga the 3 and you play Looney and Draymond, that just hasn't worked. And again, I'm not looking to shoehorn Jonathan Kaminga into a position where he doesn't play well. He played very well away from the basket tonight. Yeah. He really did. One of the best games I think he's played in his career. I mean, it probably the best game he's played in his career, period. But he was very comfortable on his drives, on his pull-ups, with his passing. There's something to be said for the Warriors just opening everything up and kind of handing it to him. I made the note early in the game, Greg, on my little note sheet. Like, tonight felt, with Kaminga scoring the 8 points early, like the scenario that he would have had he began his career in Charlotte or Detroit, where maybe he's the franchise player and you just open it and you can take 20 shots and you don't have to fit into the context of an offense with future Hall of Famers. You're going to win some games like you do tonight. You're going to lose some games like we've seen him struggle in some games where he maybe hasn't played as well down the stretch. But there's just no expectation. And I kind of felt like Kaminga tonight thrived in that environment, which as a young player, he still needs, I think, the ability to grow and make mistakes and win some and lose some. Tonight ended up being a win. But it just, the way that he was successful, the environment was very conducive for him to be successful, even though he did it against a really good Rockets team.
And yet at the same time, it wasn't, in the sense of you're at home, you can sense the nervous energy, fourth quarter lead, you don't have Steph Curry, who's going to score, here we go again. You don't want to lose your 6th in a row, and you got a tough schedule coming up. You're going to see this team again in the NBA Cup. Houston, I don't care what anyone says, if you haven't watched this team, they're the number 2 defense in the league for a reason. And I know they were missing Tari Eason, who killed the Warriors back on November 2nd on the previous meeting, but I think for Kaminga, it was almost like the stakes were high and he wasn't worried about the moment being too big for him. He was getting to a point where I'm thinking I want the ball in Kaminga's hands in the last 3 minutes in offensive half-court sets. I was cool with Podziemski as a ball handler and facilitator. I wanted Kaminga to have the ball in his hands and looking to create shots. And instead of forcing shots that were kind of mid-range jumpers or fadeaways or settling for the three, he just did what he's the best at, which is, I'm Jonathan Kaminga. I am one of the most athletic players in the NBA. I have some young legs at age 22, and I can jump higher than most players in this league, so let me try to finish at the rim. I like the fact that he gets fouled too. Now, the free throws, with him, it's probably not going to be perfect. If he can be around 75%, I think you live with that. But it was more about him understanding what he's good at, how he can contribute as a player with what he does well. And I think we've been critical of Kaminga, but so much of that sometimes, JD, and I think, media members can fall into traps all the time. I think something we fell into the trap a little bit with was other people's expectations of what Jonathan Kaminga should be. And now he's also said, I think I'm naturally a three. He wanted to play that position. But when he plays the four and does that kind of style of basketball, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I don't know if he's a closer on a regular basis when you don't have Steph or your second closer to Steph, but tonight was a big step in the maturation of a young player, and you don't get a chest bump off the bench from two Hall of Famers if they're not hyped up about you rising to the moment.
Warriors win at 99-93, 808 KNBR. It's Dubs OT with JD. We got Greg Silver on hand out at Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City as well. Warriors' 5-game losing streak is over, and they have won 15 in a row head-to-head against the Rockets. It stands. Wasn't sure it was going to, but it does. Pre-COVID, the last time the Rockets were able to beat the Warriors back in February of 2020. Career night for Jonathan Kaminga. Others who deserve props, Greg mentioned Kevon Looney and Brandon Podziemski. Andrew Wiggins definitely deserves props in this one for the Warriors. Wiggins, one of his best games of the season as well overall. He scored 22 points, 9 rebounds, couple of assists, couple of steals, and a block. And there were portions of this game, second quarter, that was the Andrew Wiggins quarter in this one. With Kaminga out, Wiggins did his thing in that second quarter, and the Warriors really needed him to. 12 in the second quarter of Wiggins' 15 that he had at halftime, ended up with 7 in the second half. And it really was Kaminga and Wiggins on a night where nobody else for the Warriors even reached double digits, which was a storyline in this one. But the Rockets can be an offensively challenged team, as great as they are defensively, and the Warriors were committed defensively tonight from the jump. 22 in the first, 21 in the second, 23 in the third points allowed. The Rockets did score 27 in the fourth, but the Warriors with enough down the stretch to earn the victory, 99-93. Couple of quick ones here before we pause. The YouTube chat. Clickbait. Right off the top, Kaminga stock skyrocketed. That's another part of the conversation. Although, again, it's so frustrating because when Kaminga plays like this, it makes you want to keep Kaminga. But, again, you have to factor in no Draymond, no Steph. How does that reconcile? Regardless, you want Jonathan Kaminga playing well, whether he winds up on this Warriors team or whether he winds up being someone that ends up being included in a trade. Wanted to get that one in off the top here. And then the other one, and I can't believe this one. No cap 757. It's the Rockets. I'm not impressed. Beat the Wolves, then talk. I knew they'd beat them. I'm sorry. You win a game without Steph Curry and Draymond Green against anybody, let alone a team that's off to the start that the Rockets are, 15-8 with the loss inside Chase Center. I mean, they come in with a better record than the Warriors. I know they don't beat the Warriors head-to-head, but
just look 3 comments below.
Come on. Rockets can't do that. Let's see. Well, I got a lot of screens going, Greg. Were you the one? Yeah, Rockets are legit. I don't know if the Rockets are legit. Greg Silver chimes in. Rockets are legit. Yeah, the rest of it I agree with. Anyone without team. Anyway, well, we don't know that. We'll see.
I would.
They are right now
to be a playoff team at the end of the season.
Top 6. Like you think, like not even have to play for their spot. I mean, maybe.
I bank on them to get in a playoff series.
I don't know that I'm going to bet. I don't know that I'm going to bet you on that. I don't know. They are now, but I don't know if I would bet on them to be top 6.
All right, TBD.
Outright April
I don't know if I'm
13th.
top 6 either, just because of how good the West is. But I think we'll see them in a series.
I mean, the Warriors look like they were a bona fide lock top 6. They have a bad week and a half, and all of a sudden it's flip a coin. But no, the Rockets are a good team. I will say that. They are a very good team. All right, 808 KNBR. Let's go ahead and pause here. We'll take a quick timeout. We're live from Harmonic Brewing. Warriors win 99-93. What did tonight tell you about Jonathan Kaminga? The fact that he has a career night, the fact that he finishes strong. What was it? The Rockets, a team that he now has owned? Is it Stephen Draymond not playing? Where are you at now on Jonathan Kaminga? We'll get into that. It is Dubs OT with JD here on the Sports Leader.
Hoops Heads, Dubs OT with John Dickinson keeps ballin'. Streaming live at twitch.tv/thesportsleader.
Now down to 10. Now he's got Van Vliet on him. Kaminga to the rim. New career high in the bucket. But again, stick with the ball screens.
Yeah, Jonathan Kaminga, excellent tonight. Warriors win it 99-93. We're back here from Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City. 808 KNBR, the number. It's John Dickinson, and it's a Greg Silver night here on the Sports Leader. Make sure you catch Greg, by the way, with Greg Papa, 10 to 2 every morning, Monday through Friday, here on the Sports Leader.
I might be sleep deprived come Friday.
Nah, you'll be all right. You can suck it up on a Thursday. Come and hang out. But no, we're happy to have Greg here at Harmonic Brewing. We've got Julia and Mike tonight behind the bar. So if you're in the area, stop by, say hi. We're both sipping on a prog rock tonight. changing it up from the Kolsch. I know those who know in the YouTube chat and are big Dubs OT followers, I'm a Kolsch guy among the menu here at Harmonic, but I'm going prog rock tonight, as is Greg Silver. So
well, I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out Gordo for hooking us up with a couple of
yes.
Gordo,
Appreciate you.
Gordo
Appreciate
gets
you.
that shout out.
Cheers, brother. Thank you. Always stop by and say hi. Yeah, and that's multiple. He said he's got 2 more.
And he wants
Greg's got his own hecklers.
Yeah, he wants to drink beer with me in the Shark Tank. So
all right, I love it. Well, I guess you're going
SAP.
I guess you're going down to the Shark Tank. I'll come down to the Shark Tank on an off night and hang out. I will always do that. What you got to do is find one of the nights where they're playing at home when you're down with Papa at Levi's.
Yeah.
And it's like a little 10, 15-minute drive.
No, they're in Tampa Bay today. It was tough.
Yeah, it was a rough one. It was 5-0 into the first period. Yeah, not good. But the Warriors get a win. So Sharks have been winning. Warriors have not. Sharks lose tonight. Warriors take up some of the slack here as we continue Dubs OT. 808 KNBR. Let's get to Adam in San Jose next here on the phone line. Speaking of San Jose, Adam joins us here on the Sports Leader. Hey, Adam.
Hey, JD. I called the other night when we played Denver and I bashed Jonathan Kaminga. Just want to call and apologize. Although I do want to see a little bit more consistency out of him. He had a phenomenal game. Shout out Estimated Eyes and Uncle Looney in the YouTube chat. And Kerr said that I lit a fire under Jonathan Kaminga and he played. I get the game ball because he played well.
Yeah, he played great tonight. And no, I appreciate it. And look, Adam, this is the beauty of being a part of the Dubs OT community. You can have your take as you did on Tuesday night, and then you can call in on Thursday night and say, hey, I'm going to give the guy credit. He played excellent basketball and help the Warriors get a win. Like, nobody's right all the time. We're all about having a conversation, and as poorly as he played down the stretch on Tuesday in Denver, after playing a pretty good game overall up until that point, he was excellent down the stretch tonight. So he made the adjustment. He found what needed to be found, and he helped the Warriors win. It's all good. Nobody is perfect when it comes to their takes, Adam.
I appreciate that. I'll take the game ball.
Thanks. Yes, Adam, you get the game ball. You get the game ball for that. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it, Adam in San Jose. Just chiming in, saying, hey, I owe Jonathan Kaminga an apology. I called the other night when I was in Denver, and Adam he ripped Jonathan Kaminga for the poor play down the stretch, and he come in tonight, give Kaminga his flowers. 650 on the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line. Game ball to Kaminga for taking over and leading this win over the Rockets. No doubt.
Yeah, 100% game ball to Jonathan Kaminga. I think the 2 obvious ones are Kaminga and Wiggins, and I already said I thought my unsung hero was by a long shot Kevon Looney for the defense and rebounding he provided.
And he also I know Sengun ended up scoring a lot at the end, and I was looking at what Sengun had 16. He also made Sengun's life difficult in the game tonight, which is important. I mean, Sengun is somebody that he's the type of player that when he's on can hurt the Warriors. So to make life difficult on him is big, and I thought Looney did that. It really made him work. And, yeah, the rebounding numbers. I mean, this is – Kevon Looney was plus 20 in this game. Woo. Game high plus 20 for Kevon Looney. I
also thought Kyle Anderson, in fewer minutes, did pretty solid work. I know he didn't play a lot of the stretch run when it got to clutch time and the Warriors took it, but I like Kyle Anderson out there, truthfully. I really do. You need some adults and some grown-ups and some veterans, especially when you don't have Curry and Green. And even when Steph and Draymond are out there, you're never going to replace the upsides of what they do, but they also can get a little bit reckless sometimes. So having a Kyle Anderson handle the ball a little bit, considering your other options are sort of Wiggins and Podziemski, I feel actually pretty comfortable having Kyle Anderson facilitate.
No, I mean, he can do it. He can play a little bit of the Draymond role. There have been multiple games this year where he's acted as the backup point guard. Basically, every game Steph Curry's been out, he's been the backup point guard. I know Pat Spencer got some first-half minutes in the game tonight. Didn't get second half minutes as Steve Kerr reined it in and basically had Kyle Anderson out there in sort of that dual role. But, yeah, Looney gets a big-time nod tonight. Kaminga with the 33, Wiggins the 22. And I'm with you on Podziemski, although we do have somebody who wants to quibble on the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line. I think believing that I had said this, but it was JD 707. There's a reason why the position is called shooting guard. Pods can't shoot and can't finish at the rim. Since when do we give flowers to guards for rebounding? Well, you do when they're in double digits. That would be my answer. One would be you do when they're in double digits. And tonight, Podziemski played the point guard. He didn't play the shooting guard, by the way.
I'm not saying Podziemski had a great game. I mean, the shooting does need to improve. I think, by and large, his plus-minus in the fourth quarter
he had a good game.
Has been really rough. But I think he definitely improved, and this is coming off the heels of getting called out by your coach and put on blast publicly. He's a young kid. Like, I'm 25, and if I get called out on the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line, I don't think I can do a show for 3 days, and I'm half joking about that.
No.
But
maybe before you started working with Papa.
Nah, JD hardened me within about 3 shows. But in all seriousness, Podziemski's young, and he got called out in a big way. I don't think he was amazing tonight, but I think he was a winning, contributing player.
No, he was, without a doubt. And again, the shooting and the offense hasn't necessarily been there from a scoring standpoint for Podziemski. I think a lot of that is he's putting too much pressure on himself. I think some of it is the fact that he has a very high opinion of himself and thinks that he can raise his – and let's be honest. I mean, that's – for as much as I've said that about Kaminga over the years – Podziemski has a pretty high opinion of his own game. And so I think he believes that there is a level that he needs to hit in year 2, coming off of a real positive year last year and also coming off of an offseason where, and this is where the organization, let's just be real about it, you gas a guy up and start talking about how untouchable he is in trades potentially for Lauri Markkanen and Paul George, and you maybe set up a narrative that's unfair for him to live up to as somebody who was the 19th pick in the draft and coming off of a really nice rookie year. But he shouldn't have been thinking coming into this year any more than Jonathan Kaminga that he had to be the number 2 scoring option on this team for them to be successful.
I said this to Papa earlier today down at Levi's. The reason that we're so critical of Brock Purdy having a down season compared to last year when he was in MVP voting is because the 49ers were inches within a Lombardi trophy and shutting down Patrick Mahomes in February. The reason we're so critical of Brandon Podziemski and at times Jonathan Kaminga is because Steph Curry is going to be 37 years old on March 14th, and he is the greatest player this franchise has ever seen and probably will see. If he ever gets surpassed, it's going to be a long, 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 long time. So I understand the urgency level. Podziemski, I would be more concerned if he wasn't being a glue guy and a connector and all that was falling apart. And to be fair, at times it's looked really bad this year. I think the shooting in terms of the free throws and on the perimeter, that stuff you can get better at as you get older in your career. I know it feels urgent because Steph and Draymond don't have forever to play, but I don't think that the version of scoring you see from Brandon Podziemski is going to be the one that would last for 10 years in the NBA.
No, I look, he's got plenty of time. He's got plenty of time to be able to figure it out. And so I think there just needs to be, and look, I think part of why Steve Kerr called Podziemski out the other night is because I think he believes that Podziemski can handle it. And not every young player in the league can handle it, especially at that age. And so I think otherwise he wouldn't have done it. Otherwise you take it behind closed doors. Now, I think part of it was Steve was just really pissed off because the errors that Podziemski, I mean, he had that stretch there in the fourth quarter where it was
the word insane.
I mean, it was terrible shot. It was throw the ball into the 20th row at I almost called it a ball arena. I almost called it Pepsi Center because I'm an OG like that. And it was bad. Fouling the 3-point shooter. It was as bad a stretch as you could possibly have. And so I think Steve was ticked. He was upset. He was frustrated. He just kind of lost himself in the moment, but I think he also knew that he could be incredibly honest with the media, knowing that he could also say it to Podziemski, and Podziemski wasn't going to have it, be a situation where it crushes his confidence or ability to compete. 808 KNBR, back to the phones, and it's Fozzie in the East Bay. What's going on, Fozzie?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother? Thank you for taking my call.
What's going on, brother? What you got tonight?
Yo, Greg, man, it's good to see you, man. First win in a while, so, I had to check in with my guys. But real quick on Pod, man, I think he's in his own head right now. This is the same guy that, we basically crowned last year because he was playing great. And for us, that's the same guy who basically sent Clayton.
Hey, but here's the thing, Fozzie. Here's the thing, Fozzie. I'm gonna let you finish, but here's the thing, Fozzie. We don't need to crown everybody off of a few games, right?
That's what I'm saying. Man.
And it's the same thing with Podziemski last year that you're talking about, and it's the same thing tonight. Like, Kaminga took the game over, and Steph and Draymond owned it, but we don't have to now extend that to mean, hey, Kaminga's got to be, is going to be that guy, or unleash Kaminga, or any of that. Like, it's like he had a great game. It was in the moment. They needed it for him to win. Let's not put the pressure on Kaminga like he has to be that guy every night for this Warriors team to be successful. Let's let it flow and let it happen. And it might be once every 10 games. Hell, it might be once every 20 games. But it's a matter of allowing these young players to be able to flourish in this system and grow up a little bit without having that pressure. All right, rant over, Fozzie. Could continue, my
man. I think we should just let him become the player that he's going to be. I think
because we're going to hear a lot of that, and it's going to piss me off, Fozzie. We're going to hear a lot of that the next 2 days. We're going to hear a lot of just let Kaminga cook. And you know what? He did it tonight, and that's great. But let's not put that on him like it's got to be he ain't got to be Kawhi Leonard by tomorrow at 7:10.
Yeah, that's that's really why I was calling, is because of let's give JK his flowers tonight. He came out and he absolutely balled. And I think this is just me thinking, but I think Steve Kerr took this opportunity to challenge him. You got Steph and Draymond out, giving him a chance to go take the ball, put it in your hands, and go out there and show me what you got. And for me personally, man, I think we've put too much pressure on JK. You guys are saying it. He's a little young. And spade for spade, nobody's talking about Moody like that. Moody's the one who got paid. But anyways, man, like I said, man, great game for JK. Let's not, crown him yet as an all-star or anything, but a good win. We got to do it again on Wednesday. Let's go get that cup. Cheers, boys.
Thanks, Fozzie. Yeah, you got to beat him on Wednesday in Houston. But to hell, you're feeling pretty good about it. The Warriors have beaten him twice without Steph Curry. What happens when Steph Curry plays, assuming he plays in that game next Wednesday, right? It's got to be 16 in a row. And if it's 16 in a row, then that means your boy's going to Vegas. It means you're on Greg, you coming to Vegas?
I'm not opposed. Yeah. I got to get a Comrex machine or something.
We might just have Jimmy. We might just steal Jimmy's mixer here.
Yeah, Jimmy's cool with it. Yeah,
Jimmy's cool. No, Jimmy's cool with it. 808 KNBR 415-808-5627. Before we get back to the phones, my favorite part of Fozzie's call is I agree wholeheartedly, Fozzie, with I do think Steve Kerr challenged Jonathan Kaminga tonight. I do. And I don't know whether that's something that he admits in a post-game press conference or whether it was anything dramatic. But the reality is Jonathan Kaminga played like Steve Kerr went to him and said, hey, this is the guy you think you are? Go get it. Go get it. Go be that guy tonight. You've already cooked the Rockets one time in Houston back on November the 2nd and had a great game against the Rockets and a great overtime that helped the Warriors win without Steph and without Draymond. I'm going to challenge you to be the guy. This is a night where you can try to be the guy that you think you are, and we need that tonight. May not need it every night. May have to do it in a different way with Steph Curry and Draymond Green playing. But tonight, Go be that guy. And Jonathan Kaminga delivered it.
But you know what? Remember last year when Steph didn't play against the Spurs and they came here to Chase Center? They didn't even have Wemby. And Kaminga kind of woke up in the fourth quarter and had a nice second half. And he wasn't the only one who really stunk that game. This is not to rag on Kaminga. That was a really awful game.
Don't be ragging on Kaminga tonight, Greg.
For everybody not named Klay Thompson that night, it was a really bad game. But Kaminga in the first half looked like, oh, cool, this is my night where I'm going to go be the guy I want to be. But it was taking a lot of mid-range jump shots, kind of letting it flow, not really attacking the rim, kind of playing like a small forward or even a shooting guard at times. And so this was like the mature version of Jonathan Kaminga be like, I'm going to go be the guy I want to be. But what that's going to be, JD, is doing what I am really good at and just playing to my strengths. And guess what? He nailed it. He killed it, and he had a career high from it.
It was a lot of head down and getting to the bucket and being patient. But there was also another play tonight. There was the play that we talked about in the first segment when you joined on Tuesday where he kind of waited for Steph to get open. He let the play develop. He waited for Steph. He found Steph in the corner. There was another play tonight where he hit Podziemski, and it was the same thing. He was waiting to let the play develop. He hit Podziemski on a cut, and Podziemski flipped it to Trayce Jackson-Davis for an easy bucket. And that, to me, was, okay, he's starting to see it a little bit more. Even though he was cooking, even though he was really flowing offensively and he was getting his own, in that moment, he knew when it was the right time to take a beat and let a play develop and make the hockey assist. We were talking about the Sharks. It wasn't the direct assist. It was, I'm going to hit Podziemski on this cut. Podziemski's going to flip it behind him to Trayce Jackson-Davis, and you're going to be able to get the bucket that way. I thought there were a couple of plays. Look, Kaminga took some bad shots tonight, but it's a who cares. It's a who cares because they needed him. Like tonight's a night where he can shoot it 22 times, and they needed him to, and you don't have Steph, and somebody's got to step up and step in. He got off to the hot start. I don't even care about 2 or 3 bad shots on a night where you go 13 for 22. Doesn't matter. By the way,
3 for 6 on threes.
To your point on Kaminga, 10 of 13 in the paint. 10 of 13 in the paint. 20 of his 33 in the paint. Now he did it. He did it 3 of 6 from 3. So he had 4 at the line, 4 for 6, and 3 of 6 from 3. So tonight, I mean, again, the 3 ball is what put him over the top tonight. But I think what you see when he hits a couple threes, he definitely is able to get to his spots better as far as the drives and getting to the basket. I think it almost unleashes when he hits his 3 a confidence that he can get to the rim on anybody. Because I think some of the games where he doesn't hit the 3, you can almost sense he's like waiting for the defense to just dare him. And he's a beat slower in his drive. He's a beat slower in his attack because he's just not sure that anybody respects what he's doing from the perimeter. When he hits, I think especially a couple of threes early, he's able to really get it going downhill a lot more as the game goes on.
Well, think about it from the defensive perspective, too, is that if you're on defense and you got to guard someone as athletic as Jonathan Kaminga and he's made you pay once or twice from beyond the arc, you might actually think about stepping out, and you step out a little bit and he can just get a couple of inches or a half a step on you with how explosive he is. That can be a real problem. He's going to generate free throws. He's going to generate some easy buckets in the paint. So I think there's extreme value in that. And that's why I think if and when Podziemski is able to be somewhat of a threat, just shooting the ball outside, I think his ability to facilitate and play make is going to get a lot easier for him as he continues to grow in this league. So he's got a long way to go, but I do think he's taken some steps, and this was a big night for Kaminga as far as taking his steps because we've been critical of him a lot, and this game doesn't entirely change who he is or what he can do or his play style, but it was really refreshing to see him do what he does best, honor that, and also rise to the occasion in a high-stakes situation when your team had lost 5 in a row, you're at home, and you don't have your 2 best players.
808 KNBR, Eric and Millbrae next here on the Sports Leader. What's going on, Eric?
What's up, guys? Great.
What's going on?
Great win tonight. Love to see that out of Kaminga. Hopefully, this is a big confidence booster because the Warriors have been waiting to see him take that next step to be that franchise player after Curry kind of wanes off and really be that bridge to the next young core of the future. And the inconsistency, still been there. And hopefully a game like tonight where he was a main focal point against a really good Houston team really gets them going. And I love the way that Wiggins played because Wiggins hasn't bounced back here, and those guys are so critical and key to the Warriors' success. When you can't rely on Curry, these guys got to be probably in my mind the second and third options for the Warriors, along with Draymond, really taking that fourth option to really elevate the Warriors team. They want to make a deep run. So this was huge for Kaminga to really show he can be the number one guy, at least for tonight. We want to see more like this from him tonight, and hopefully this really gets the confidence going because he sees it as a max player, and you want to consider a max player, you got to be in games like this, but the key is you got to have it consistently. That's what superstars do, not just, up and down inconsistently here and there. You have big flashes of performances, which you've seen from him. So tomorrow is going to be another huge test. You got a really good Timberwolves coming in. So we want to see these guys really lock in and have this type of game because it doesn't get any easier. But tonight was hell of a good game tonight, and I just love what we saw from him. And we're waiting for JK to really be that guy, and we're hoping by the end of this year the Warriors will gladly end up that max deal if he shows he can be a franchise type level player. And this is what he needs to do. And thanks for the time, guys, and can't wait for tomorrow because it's gonna be a hell of a matchup against the T-Wolves tomorrow night. Thanks.
Yeah, now go do it again tomorrow against the Timberwolves, right? Now go do it again against Minnesota. Hey, thanks for the call, Eric. Appreciate it. 808 KNBR 415-808-5627. It is Dubs OT with JD and Greg Silver. It's a Greg Silver night here on Dubs OT. We got beers just being handed to us here by Gordo. Gordo checking in and thank you to Gordo. We got to pace ourselves tonight. We got a long night. Greg's got an early morning tomorrow. You don't have to go down to Levi's tomorrow, right?
No.
You're not going down to Levi's tomorrow, so you'll be good on that. We'll get more from the YouTube chat coming up here as well. And yeah, No Cap is just doubling and tripling down on the not impressed at the Warriors beating the Rockets. Enter the Draymond with a comment. Dre and Steph were so happy for Kaminga. That was real. And here's the thing. They know what Kaminga wants to be. I guess I don't think whether we can debate whether he can get there, whether he should have as high opinion of his game as whatever. But Steph and Draymond know what Kaminga believes he is. So to see him be able to realize that in the closing moments of this game, I thought it was – you could tell in the way that they reacted to Kaminga polishing the game off late with the chest bumps and all of that as he basically had the clinching basket. You could see that they understand how important it was for him to have kind of what could prove to be – we don't know that it is, but what could prove to be a breakout moment.
It's pretty incredible, too, when you consider this run that the Warriors have had, how awesome Steph and Draymond in particular are when they're not playing, when they're inactive, and just how present they are, jumping up off the bench. Draymond's coaching up Gary Payton II for how to defend that Rockets' last gasp possession in which GP2 did a great job closing out Van Vliet without getting in his space and undercutting him, which would be a foul, and a classic Warriors fourth quarter blunder to give the Rockets 3 free throws, and all of a sudden then you got to send somebody to the line, and what's going to happen. I just love how present they are with it. And, like I said earlier, they're not going to fake that kind of thing when Jonathan Kaminga makes a play like that to get it to 98-93. They get up off the bench and run into his chest for how happy they are. That's not a fabricated thing. They wouldn't do that for show. So
No.
really, really cool.
They wouldn't do that unless they respected the player and, again, understood what that moment means for the player. And so I think you're spot on as it relates to that. 808 KNBR, the best response, and we still have time to sneak in some phone calls here. Best response was from our guy Regulator to No Cap 757. All Cap said was he's not impressed beating the 2 seed. He wants to beat the 10 seed. That's the line of the night from Regulator. Matt A., appreciate you for jumping in and joining the conversation as well. Rebel DeSounds, No Cap is the ultimate Warriors pessimist. San Jose Jazz fan 4. When I see these so injured they can't play but sit on the bench, I'd wrap them in bubble wrap. Heck with this celebration nonsense. I don't know. Look, Steph and Draymond are hurt. Like, let's just be honest. Steph and Draymond are No Cap. Rockets are a fake 2 seed. Kaminga was awesome in this game. Buco Sports, JD, running to Harmonic. Yeah, I was running. I was running to Harmonic, and I still couldn't get set up quickly enough. Greg was sitting over here too deep. And San Jose Jazz fan, don't pull a hammy. No, I'm not going to pull a hammy. But it did take me a little too long. I'm not going to lie. It took me longer than it should have to be able to get things rolling and get on the air. 808 KNBR. More from the YouTube chat coming up. We've got Sounds of Dubs OT coming up. It's looking good. We got Gordo in the house here buying everybody beers. And the Warriors' 5-game losing streak is over. 99-93 the final. It's KNBR 104.5 and 680 Sports Leader.
Did you hear something?
Yeah, like a swoosh.
Yeah.
Dubs OT presents the sounds of silver. Streaming live on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
All right, welcome back. It's Dubs OT with JD from Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City. Warriors win at 99-93 over the Rockets. 808 KNBR if you want to jump in and join the conversation. Still time to get to some calls. It's the best Dubs postgame coverage in the Bay, bar none, here on The Sports Leader. As the Warriors' 5-game losing streak is over, we're coming to you from Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City. Cheers to everyone, including Kyle Haar in our San Francisco studios. Cheers to you, my friend. Great job. We do have Greg Silver here tonight. Although Greg is off mic, he's over talking to Gordo right now. We will call it Sounds of Silver tonight since Greg is a part of the show tonight. And let's get to it. We'll dive right into it. All the best post-game clips from the Warriors win over the Houston Rockets. And let's get it started with Steve Kerr, who addressed really the play of the night, which was the Jonathan Kaminga game-clinching layup. The Warriors called timeout. Steve Kerr used his last timeout to set up a play that basically was a Jonathan Kaminga isolation, and Kaminga was able to score and end the game effectively. Draymond Green and Steph Curry were hyped, chest bumped him, and it clinched this one and also clinched a career high 33 for Jonathan Kaminga. Here is Steve Kerr on that play.
JK just made the play. I mean, he got a couple of ghost screens, one from Buddy, one from BP, just to try to confuse the switch a little bit. And JK just attacked, and that was the play of the game. It was just a beautiful drive and capped off a phenomenal night for him. He was brilliant.
Yeah, beautiful play design, honestly, with the ghost screens, the fake screens, and Kaminga went to work. Kaminga went to work and finished the deal on a night that truly was his night. And look, Steve Kerr trusting him in that situation, you may on one hand say, oh, well, easy call. Kaminga was cooking 33 points in that game, or 31 points at that moment. But to use your final timeout, I mean, if that play goes awry and Kaminga turns it over or he gives it up and you end up 10 seconds and somebody throws up a wild shot, the Rockets have a hell of a chance to go down on the other end and hit a three to try and tie the game. So he put the game in Kaminga's hands. And really, Greg, the second time he's put the game in Kaminga's hands against the Rockets in two head-to-head matchups, and Kaminga has delivered. There have been a lot of nights where they've done nowhere near what they did tonight, but there have been a lot of nights where Kaminga's had opportunities, and it hasn't worked out very well down the stretch. Denver on Tuesday was one of them. He got stopped a couple of different times down the stretch in that game. But against the Rockets, he's cooked them twice.
Well, it's funny because the Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic version of the Denver Nuggets since that 2022 run when they didn't have Jamal Murray, the Warriors just have no answers for them. No matter how many times it looks like they got him, they just can't get it done. The Rockets, it's the complete opposite, and it's nice to know that for both trends, it's just extended to the next generation.
Yeah, it really has. It's incredible. I mean, that run is incredible. I mean, the Rockets were terrible for most of the 15-game losing streak. The Rockets have been terrible. The Warriors haven't been terrible. They were terrible the last time the Rockets beat them. That was in February. I mean, the Warriors had probably 12 or 13 wins at that point.
What about the Christmas game when the Warriors had Draymond and a bunch of guys they traded?
That is true. That was the game before the last time the Rockets won.
Okay, so that wasn't one of the 15.
That was Christmas. That was Christmas of 2019.
Right.
So 5 years ago this month was that. Right. 5 years ago, February was the last time the Rockets. They won. The Rockets won by like 30. I vaguely remember it, but it was in February. I want to say it was first or second game after the All-Star break. Maybe.
I honestly wiped that one from my memory.
Yeah.
That whole year was a blur.
Somebody was doing shows every night after
How much Eric Paschal talk did you get in?
Oh my God! I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go. There was a lot of Eric Paschal. You're going to get me on a tangent. I remember the night Eric Paschal basically went Jonathan Kaminga against Portland in, I don't know, like the third week of the season, and the Warriors were, 2-8 or whatever it was. It was like, wow, Eric Paschal. They were ISOing Eric Paschal out on the wing against the Lillard, CJ McCollum Blazers that they had played in the conference finals months earlier. And Paschal, so it was kind of like, hey, well, anybody on the Warriors can beat the Blazers. Anybody on the Warriors can beat the Riot. It was kind of like tonight, a little bit. All right, let's get to our next cut from Steve Kerr, another Kerr, and he shouts out Andrew Wiggins and addresses the fact that Wiggins, he was questionable coming into this game, but with Steph Curry and Draymond Green out, Wiggins made a point to play, and Wiggins also came up big.
Wiggs was phenomenal. I don't even know if he should have played tonight. He had the ankle, but he knew Steph and Draymond were out, and he knew how important this game was, and he gutted it out. He's been that way since he's been here. Iron Man. I think the first 7 years of his career, he might have missed 15 games. So we know we can count on him night after night to be there for us. And he knew he had a lot of responsibility tonight with Steph and Dre out. And he and JK really both did a great job of providing the offense.
Yeah, both phenomenal in this one. Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kaminga. And yeah, I can't imagine what this game ends up if Andrew Wiggins doesn't play. He scores 22 points, and nobody other than Kaminga, who had 33, and Wiggins, who had 22. Everybody else had 44. Everybody else the Warriors didn't score 100 tonight.
If you told me there were going to be 2 double-digit scores tonight for the Warriors, I would have said, oh, boy.
Well, I at one point said to our guy Austin Scott that this game could end up 90-78 Rockets. At some point in the first quarter, I may have said, hey, the Rockets could win this game 90-78. And that was with Kaminga going, and Wiggins hadn't gotten going yet because it was the first quarter. When Wiggins got going and the Warriors had the big second quarter, they won this game in the second and fourth quarters. And it was Wiggins answering the bell in the second, and it was Kaminga answering the bell in the fourth. But without both of them, it may very well have ended up 93-78 in favor of the Rockets, and we'd be talking about a 6-game losing streak and the demand for Steph and Draymond to play tomorrow. We'll see what happens on that front, by the way. Draymond could be cleared by tomorrow. They left his status in the injury update, and I guess this is a good time to kind of get everybody the injury update on Draymond Green as well. He had an MRI today, real quick. MRI negative. He was ruled out yesterday for tonight's game. But as you look at the game against Minnesota, it's to be determined the status there. So he could play in the game tomorrow. Stay tuned around 1 o'clock when Greg and Greg are on, Papa and Silver, and they'll probably get the injury report will drop. Usually does, second of a back-to-back in that noon to 1 o'clock hour, wherever the time zone is of the game that's being played. So game will be at Chase tomorrow. So look, 12:30, 1:30, somewhere in there, you'll get the injury update on Draymond Green. Is he questionable? Is he probable? Is he, in fact, ruled out? And so the other update was yesterday, and it was on DeAnthony Melton, who did undergo surgery for the torn ACL that he sustained on November the 12th. So successful surgery. Melton expected to make a full recovery prior to next season. And again, he's going to be a free agent. So we'll see. Assuming, I'm sure the Warriors will be in the mix to maybe keep him. I think he's going to have a lot of suitors. He's a very, very good player when he's healthy. A very good player. Absolutely. So we'll see what happens with DeAnthony Melton. All right, continuing on here on Sounds of Silver. We are calling it Sounds of Silver tonight because Greg is a part of the show. We haven't totally made that switch yet. Jonathan Kaminga addressing the media tonight, and he Talked about the final layup that put the game away. We'll hear from him on that coming up in just a second. But first, he spoke to the fact that he believed he had to be more aggressive with Steph Curry and Draymond Green out. And, boy, did he deliver on that. Here's JK.
It was just most definitely going out there and just, help us win, be more confident because I know a lot of pressure is going to be on me, even on the rest of the guys because we don't have Steph and Draymond. And just having that confidence and knowing, days like this count where they need you out to be more aggressive and go out there and be the best version of yourself. So that's why I just had to go out there and just step up and just be myself.
Confidence. Had the confidence, went out, and as Kaminga says, he went out to be himself. We were joking earlier about the player that Kaminga believes he is. Kaminga definitely was himself in this one and the best version of himself in this one. I think that's good. So I think too often it's easy to say that a player, so-and-so has to step up with others out. Kaminga put that on himself tonight, and it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to say that it didn't, right? Like, the way he was kind of the offense in the fourth quarter, because I don't know how many Wiggins scored in the fourth, but it felt like Kaminga took the really heavy load in the fourth, and not really anyone else for the most part. I mean, Trace Jackson-Davis, I think, had a little right-handed layup, but he had a really quiet night. It was really Kaminga heavy, and that's impressive considering I could see him having a great fourth quarter when Steph is out there and he draws so much attention, and the gravitational pull towards Steph away from the ball is such a big thing. But this was different when you have a good defense out there just zeroing in on Jonathan Kaminga like, he's probably going to be the guy that's going to take these shots late, and he still scores.
Yeah, Kaminga had 14 of his 33 in the fourth. He was 6 of 8 in the fourth. He was 2 for 4 at the line, 6 of 8, all twos in the fourth quarter. But, yeah, Kaminga had 14. Wiggins had 5. So you want the full Warriors scored 26 in the fourth. 14 Kaminga, 5 Wiggins, and then it was 2 for Buddy Hield, 2 for Brandon Podziemski, 2 for Trace Jackson-Davis, and 1 free throw for Moses Moody. That was it.
Hield was 2 free throws also.
That was it. Yeah. Hield was 2 free throws. Hield was, 2 for 2 at the line. And you look at everybody else. So Kaminga was 6 for 8. Everybody else was 3 for 12. Kaminga and Wiggins in the fourth quarter were 8 for 12. Everybody else was 1 for 8. So it truly was Kaminga, and it was Kaminga and Wiggins. But again, Wiggins only with the 5. I'm going to look at the second quarter real quick.
I got a question for you while you look at that.
And I've already got it. No. We got plenty of fun. I got plenty of fun with numbers tonight. But go ahead. No, I have the second quarter up. But go ahead.
Do you know when the last time someone made multiple and completed 4-point plays in the same half? Because I don't know the answer to that. But Andrew Wiggins did it, and I was like, "When's the last time this happened?"
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And I don't. James Harden? No, I would. James Harden would be a guess. Second quarter, Wiggins. So the Warriors did score 31. So it was more balanced. So second quarter, Wiggins scored 12 of the 31. But get this, nobody else in the second quarter had more than 3. Nobody else had more than 3. Here are the players who had 3 in the second quarter. So Wiggins, 12. Here are the players who had 3. Buddy Hield, Podziemski had 3. 3. Moses Moody had 3. So 12 and then 3, right? Wow. So that's 21. And then there were 5 players who had 2. Kaminga, Looney, GP2, Trace Jackson-Davis, and Kyle Anderson. So Wiggins had 12. You had what was that? 3 with 3 and 5 with 2. The ultimate imbalance. That's also how you get 2 guys who have 55 of your 99 and 2 guys in double figures and nobody else in double figures. So,
playing defense also helps. That's why I say this year's team is not last year's team. I get that there's some similarities. I get that they might finish around the same point. I hope not. I hope we see this Warriors team in a playoff series. But the fact that they defend at a higher level goes a long way in terms of me saying, it's just 2023 all over again.
Yes. The defense, and like we talked about the Rockets being offensively challenged, which they are, but the Warriors defense, they kind of refound their defensive identity, I thought, tonight, which was necessary if you were going to win this game. All right, let's hear more from Jonathan Kaminga. Kaminga was asked about the game clinching layup, and here's what he had to say about that play.
It was a very big moment. I was a little nervous. I really wanted to go get that ball, and just having Draymond and Steph supporting you, telling you like, "Yo, go get the ball." Like the whole team was behind me, telling me go get the ball and just be confident, take your time. And I think that boosts my energy and more of my confidence to just go out there and make a play.
How about that? So Jonathan Kaminga says he was a little bit nervous going into that final play, but Steph and Draymond gave him the confidence to say, hey, go get the ball and make the play. That's impressive. He said the whole team was behind him. Steph and Draymond specifically boosted his confidence that he was going to go get it. That's something. I mean, in that
really cool
in that moment. And you can see how happy they were for him on the back end of that.
Well, yeah, going back to the whole Steph and Draymond weren't going to fabricate it and weren't going to fake it. That's really cool that Jonathan Kaminga was getting coaching and encouragement from the Hall of Famers on the bench who weren't playing. But at the same time, Steph and Draymond were giving him and instilling that self-belief like, dude, you can go inside and finish better than many, many players in this league and maybe the best one on the entire floor above the rim. So go give it a crack, attack it with confidence, and do it. And I think hearing that from four-time champions and gold medalists and guys that have answered the bell time and time again, even if your team in the last couple of years has been seen as a little bit of they let the fourth quarter lead slip. To hear that from guys who have answered at the highest stakes many times and they got 4 giant rings on their fingers to show for it, that goes a long way, and I'm glad it worked for Jonathan Kaminga.
Yeah, and it did tonight. And again, I think tonight is the kind of night we don't want to put it on him that this has to be the breakout game of a season full of games like tonight. I think, again, that pressure is unfair to put on Jonathan Kaminga. But I think what you hope is that tonight is the kind of night where Jonathan Kaminga knows he can get it. The rest of the team knows he can get it, but he also understands the fact that he doesn't have to always get it, and this team can still be successful. Like, there's a confidence that comes from picking your spots on the right nights that you have the ability to get the job done, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely makes sense, I think. It goes back to me, to kind of put it in a sentence, when we had the clip of Dubs OT from a month or so ago about Jonathan Kaminga and if he's going to become a star, it can happen, but it's going to happen organically.
Yes. And tonight it happened organically.
Exactly.
Like it didn't feel forced. I will say he forced the action in his own way tonight, and it was successful. That isn't always going to happen, but they ISO'd him in the fourth quarter. I don't want to take anything away from him. They were going to him early in the game. Through the middle of the game, it felt like he just got his in the flow, and then down the stretch, they really went to him, and it worked out in a big-time way. All right, let's hear from Brandon Podziemski. By the way, those last 2 cuts, courtesy of NBC Sports Bay Area. Appreciate that. It was Kareth Burke tonight, and Monty Poole was there, and Festus Ezeli doing that interview where we played the clips from Jonathan Kaminga postgame right off the court. So we want to make sure we give credit there. Let's hear from Brandon Podziemski. He had high praise for JK.
Yeah, he's a star in the making. Everybody in the locker room believes in him. We're at our best when he's ultra aggressive. And you saw it tonight. What do you have, 33 tonight?
Right. Career high for him, too.
It's starting to open up for him, and he's figuring it out. And, as a teammate, that's what you want to see. You want to see your brother succeed. So super happy for him, and he's just going to continue to climb and get where he wants to go.
Star in the making, Brandon Podziemski. He's got away with words. Calls Jonathan, not himself, by the way. He didn't. He was talking about Jonathan Kaminga. He wasn't talking about himself. No, I like BP a lot. I like BP a lot. But yeah, it's he doing what he can do. Let's go ahead and hear one more final cut here on Sounds of Silver on this fine Thursday night. I had to think about it for a second. Thursday night. Every day, Steve Kerr always says every day feels like Wednesday once you get in the season. Pretty much every day. My default is Wednesday, but alas, this is Thursday. One more from Rockets head coach Ime Udoka. He was not happy the other night when they got beaten Sacramento, and he was not happy tonight as the Warriors beat the Rockets for a 15th consecutive time. Not all of those are on Udoka. I think 5 or 6 of them are, though. Here's what Ime Udoka had to say post-game about the game that his squad played tonight.
What made it difficult to sustain anything offensively?
As we're sharing the ball, all the things that we've done to get a decent record have kind of gone out the window last few games. And so that was a big part of it, obviously, is you got to come with some energy, some juice from the start. If you guys really didn't look like they showed up till after halftime. But still, with all that said, you hold somebody at 99 with 2 guys really hurting us, Kaminga and Wiggins, 56 out of 99, and you're struggling offensively to get rebounds, to hold on to the ball, to play with physicality, aggression, and some assertiveness. And so one of our softest games since I've been here for sure.
One of our softest games since I've been here for sure. He also said a couple of guys didn't show up until halftime. Wow. Like, Ime Udoka, impressive. Warrior fans obviously know from the Celtics team in 2022 that the Warriors beat in the finals before scandal ended his tenure as the head coach of the Celtics, and he moved on to the Rockets. But, yeah, the Rockets are not exactly a team that's known for being soft, but the Warriors took it to them tonight. And, again, I'm surprised. The Warriors did – another note that I made that I haven't addressed it, the Warriors did kind of punked the Rockets a little bit tonight in terms of setting the physical tone against a team that prides themselves on being physical.
I think that's fair. I think Sengun was kind of bullying them back a little bit, and I know Looney did a good job.
Sengun's soft. Sengun's skilled. He didn't bully him. Do you think Sengun bullied him? I mean, we can disagree.
I think he was kind of going at him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. A lot of that was like little flippy stuff. I don't know.
You guys really didn't look like they showed up till after halftime.
Yeah.
Who's he talking about, by the way? We just replayed the who do you think he was talking about? A couple guys didn't show up till halftime.
Fred VanVleet could be one. Although I don't know why you'd go at a vet like that, so maybe not. Jalen Green could be one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm bringing up the first half box because that. Yeah, all right. First half box. Dylan Brooks had 10. It ain't him. Wow, Jabari Smith Jr. was a minus 14 in the first half, 2 for 7. Jalen Green, 1 for 5, minus 10. Van Vliet, 1 for 5, minus 7. He wasn't talking about Steven Adams, Amen Thompson, or Reed Shepard. I don't think he was talking about Aaron Holiday either, minus 3 in 6 minutes. So I think he was talking about Jabari Smith, Sengun, Jalen Green, probably those 3. Although, again, you don't
think Jabari Smith's on the list?
No, I think I said Jabari. I think he is talking about Jabari Smith, Sengun, and Jalen Green. I think those are the 3 most likely.
Van Vliet was the one we left out.
Van Vliet was the one but Van Vliet was not good in the first half either, minus 7. But no, Jabari Smith and Jalen Green were the worst 2 players on the court in the first half.
Yeah.
Sengun was not really great either, 2 of 7, but no, Jabari Smith minus 14, Jalen Green minus 10. And so that to me is a team that comes in and they're 15-7, and they're feeling themselves a little bit, and they think, hey, we came back from 30 against the Warriors the last time. We're going to walk in here and just own this game and just win this game easily. So didn't happen. And if the Warriors can do it a 16th consecutive time, they get to go to Vegas and play the Thunder or the Mavs in Las Vegas.
You know what bums me out the most about
What's
losing that
that?
game in Denver? We were going to get a Captain Clay game right here at Chase, part 2.
Yeah, we would have. We still might if the Warriors lose in the Rock.
No, it'll be at Vegas, though.
Well, no. If the Warriors lose, if the Warriors did you not know that part? So if the
yeah, you're right. Yeah. So it's
if the
consolation.
So if the Warriors lose and the Mavs lose, if the Warriors lose to the Rockets Wednesday, the Mavs play OKC Tuesday. So if the Mavs lose and the Warriors lose, they play Sunday at Chase.
In the consolation bracket.
They play Sunday at Chase, like already predetermined. And or they get an extra game against OKC because you need that. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a timeout. Greg, appreciate you. We're going to let you run because you've got the show tomorrow at 10 with Greg Papa. We're going to pause here. We're going to come back. We're going to shout a bunch of people out. And again, I'm not kicking you out, by the way. If you want to stay, you can stay, but I'm giving you the out. Because you've got a quick turnaround, or you can stay and we can do more YouTube chat and fun with numbers, which I can very easily do on my own. No pressure.
Because I love the YouTube chat and our Dubs devotees, I'm going to stay.
Oh, he's got to stay. And he's got like 2 beers from Gordo that he's got to figure out how to pass off to some of the others.
We'll be giving some away.
We might have to give some away tonight, courtesy of Gordo, because we got overwhelmed. You can only drink so much when you're actually doing the show, like literally, when you have to talk for an hour and a half straight. Austin might come by and grab one of them, although Austin he's not a huge beer guy.
Well, we'll make him be if we have.
Well, he's going to be tonight. He's taking one of those tonight. Or I'm not giving him a ride. He's taking one of them tonight. So all right, we'll come back. Greg says he's staying. We've got some more from the YouTube chat and fun with numbers. Fun night for the Dubs. They beat the Rockets 99-93. It's KNBR 104.5 and 680, the sports leader.
This is Dubs OT with JD. Time now for fun.
I'm a fun guy.
With numbers.
No, I'm just having fun.
On KNBR 104.5 and 680. Streaming live on KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
Alex and Matt, appreciate it. All right, welcome back. Fun with numbers. We're on the air. Alex and Matt they get what's your name, sir? Paco. We got Alex, Matt, Paco, and Ivan. So we got Alex, Matt, Paco, and Ivan are all drinking on the house tonight. Courtesy of Gordo. These are all courtesy of Gordo. Back here at Harmonic. Yeah, it's all good. It all drinks the same. Appreciate you guys. Courtesy of the JD tab. Courtesy of Harmonic Brewing. Courtesy of our guy Gordo as well here at Harmonic in Thrive City. Warriors get a big win tonight. 99-93 the final. Jonathan Kaminga, career game for him. Well, that didn't take long, by the way, Greg. We're going to get to fun with numbers in a minute, but it didn't take long. We're like, man, we have a table full of beers. Like, we were, like, pacing ourselves. And, again, it's hard to do an hour and a half, 2-hour radio show and sip while it slows the pace down.
Well, this is a healthy reminder that tomorrow Dirty Work with Copes and Depop's going to be out at Almanac Brewing.
Yes.
And 4 hours, if you're going to get served a beer from the get-go.
We've got a spill.
4 hours for a show. Like, what we've done an hour and a half, 4 hours. Is Derek going to be okay?
They're going to throw me out of here now. Need a mop. Matt needs a mop over here. Clean up on aisle 4. Derek will be all right. We're having a good time tonight here. Dubs OT with JD. And it's a Greg Silver night. I love these nights where Greg is going to be a part of the show, as I've said so many times. Some nights more than others, not every night. We do want Greg to have a life and be able to get a little bit of a break.
Certified sicko.
But he is a certified sicko, and he's earning the sicko cred in a big way tonight. As somebody that came up here in the Dubs OT family. But yeah, no, we appreciate everybody joining us tonight at Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City. Let's get a little more in the YouTube chat, and then we're going to do some fun with numbers, and then we're going to call it a night as things start to unwind here in a good way, slow down a little bit here on Dubs OT. Back to the YouTube chat, which means I have to figure out how to navigate my screen here, and we have neglected folks tonight. Greg, do you have the chat up?
Yeah, I got the chat.
The Rockets show really poorly. Rockets shot really poorly. It's hard to say we even outshot them. Only Wiggins and Kaminga cracked double digits. That from Rebel to Sounds. When leading the break, FL Dubs fan, when leading the break, Hield is not a good decision maker. He was off tonight, and Kerr gave him more than enough time. Look, Buddy Hield has to be out there when you're looking for scoring and shooting. I don't think Buddy Hield was that bad tonight, to be perfectly honest.
No, he just didn't do the thing he's the best at.
Right. He actually didn't have a crazy, terrible game otherwise. He just didn't shoot it. And Buddy hasn't really shot it great. He hasn't really shot it great overall. FL Dubs fan, when you're in the last 5 minutes of game without Steph and Dre, the only guys I want touching the ball are JK and Wiggins. How about that? Pretty impressive.
Well, I'm good with Podziemski touching the ball. I get if you don't want him shooting the ball a lot, but you do need some ball handling. And look, Andrew Wiggins has had a much improved season from last year, but he can be a little bit questionable with the ball security in the home stretch of runs. So people say what they want about Podziemski. You kind of need a ball handler of some sort when you don't have Steph out there.
No, you do. And look, and I thought enter the Draymond in the YouTube chat. Pods did concentrate on facilitating. He did. He made the extra pass. He heard Steve Kerr, I thought, tonight. Do the other things, rebound, look to move the ball. Don't feel like you have to shoot it every time you're open and be that number 2 scorer. And I thought that worked tonight. Buco Sports, Bay Area was without a win for 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks tomorrow, the last time that the 49ers or the Warriors got a win. It was 2 weeks ago tomorrow. So, 13 nights the Bay Area went without a victory from the Warriors or the Niners. What would that have been? A 7-game losing streak? Because you factor 2 Niner games in there. The Warriors did beat Atlanta in between the first and second Niner loss.
Well, this is why we count the Sharks now.
Well, yeah, the Sharks have been doing nothing but winning until they got down 5-0 in the first period tonight.
Yeah.
They got humbled a little bit at Tampa Bay, but that's okay. It happens. Max Lopez, Pods shouldn't be in the last 5 minutes. Yeah, Pods should be in it. Like, without Steph, Pods is going to be on the court. Like, do people realize he's the backup point guard? Like, if Steph isn't playing, he's the backup point guard. He's also the starting 2 guard, but he's the backup point guard. So
if you have a fully healthy team, Brandon Podziemski is not guaranteed a spot in the closing lineup. I 100% stand by that. You can get Wiggins, you can get Draymond, Steph, maybe Kaminga, maybe Moses Moody earns a spot that night. Like, Brandon Podziemski's not owed anything, but when you don't have Steph, and especially when you don't have Steph and Draymond, then Brandon Podziemski, barring, I don't know, his worst game possible, is probably going to be out there.
How about this one? Nick Pa, you talking to the fans is the worst radio. We don't care about Danny in Vancouver. Well, guess what? I do care about Danny in Vancouver. So, Nick Pa, GFY.
You know what? It's a minority opinion. Can't please everybody.
Pound sand. I do care about Danny in Vancouver, and I care about Max Lopez, and I care about Rockin' Newer 84, and I care about Estimated Eyes, and I care about San Jose Jazz Fan 4, and I care about everybody that we've met here at Harmonic, like Matt and Paco and Ivan. I care about everybody like that, and of course our buddy.
Well, half the names you just mentioned are people I have gotten to meet in person, and that's what the radio community is all about. So I met Rockin' New Era at the draft party.
Yes, Rockin' New Era is a great guy.
Awesome.
I've hung out and drank beers with AJ Cruz 75. Within the last month, I hung out and had beers with AJ Cruz 75.
San Jose Jazz Fan was right here on April 14th.
San Jose Jazz Fan was like maybe the leader in the history of taking advantage of the Dubs OT put it on JD's tab.
I put him at the top.
He put like 5 on JD's tab.
Yeah.
And it happens. It's okay. We can do that.
We love you, chat.
We love the chat. We love the people. And yeah, we love all of our regulars. This show would not be what it is without our regulars. This show would not be 100 deep in terms of, viewing at 11:20 at night, having Julia come over and say, "Hey guys, all right, you got to wrap it up." Like that's like I got to get home. Like we wouldn't be that if it wasn't for the YouTube chat. So we appreciate everyone here. And so, it's big time on Dubs OT with JD. I'm scrolling through here. I want to make sure Came and Money TV Pods is an unathletic crash dummy. Come on. Why do Warrior fans hate Brandon Podziemski?
Because in their mind, he's the reason they couldn't get Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah, but that's not real. That doesn't matter. That's not real. That all right. Final segment here. We'll get to fun with numbers straight ahead. So many LM, so many Pods haters. Yet he's the backup point guard and one of the few ball handlers on the roster. LM, a newbie. Thank you.
I've seen LM before.
That's sane. That's a very sane take. And yes, Otis Bird, we appreciate you, my man, as well. We are the show of the people. We go longer than anybody. We interact with the chat. We have the best post-game sound, and Austin Scott's the best digital guy going. Like, period. Point blank, end of story. He's still working. He doesn't want to come over and have his beer.
If I didn't like this community, I would have left at 10:15 or probably just not come at all.
Well, and here's the bet. GZ Money. Pods rebounds, and this is where being a team is important. Pods rebounds covers for JK's lack of rebounding.
Yeah.
He had 6 rebounds tonight. Andis Brown, one of our all-time faves. Kerr wants Pods to hit singles and not try to make the home run play all the time. Tonight, Brandon Podziemski took the singles. He wasn't trying to hit the home run play tonight. And, I mean, really, how could you try to hit the home run play after your head coach eviscerates you in the media like he did post-game the other night at Ball Arena in Denver? All right, final couple here. Otis Bird, I think Steph and Draymond will play tomorrow. They looked ready to play on the sidelines tonight. Yeah, I think tonight was, once Draymond's MRI got him cleared, I think tonight was more about rest than – and I think Steph was more about no back-to-back and playing both games than it is anything too serious. Although Steve Kerr did say pregame that he's hurting, which is definitely not nothing. So, yeah, thanks to Regulator and Max Lopez and everybody else. Just so many comments tonight. Can't get to them all. We'll get to more comments tomorrow as well in the YouTube chat, as we're going to be right back here at Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City. All right, Greg, time for your favorite portion of the show, which, of course, is fun with numbers. And I got to bring up – I have to dig deep here into – I had to go to the second phone on you. I had to go to the
burner, everybody.
I had to go to the burner. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. My girlfriend's not going to like that. Don't say that. That's all right. So fun with numbers. Season high 5-game losing streak is over, and the Warriors winning streak 15 over Houston. That is the second longest active streak behind whom? I mentioned this to you on November 2nd. I don't think you had it. So there's one active longer winning streak for one team against another.
Was the Pistons the losing end?
The Pistons are the losing end. That's good.
And
you already got it. It's the Knicks. I'm not even going to.
Okay.
Knicks have won 16 in a row over the Pistons. Warriors finally won a clutch game, 13th clutch game of the year. They have lost 5 in a row in clutch situations. They were 5-2, and then they were 5-7. They win tonight. They're 6-7 in clutch games. 7th straight clutch game. And the 10th in the last 11. The Warriors 2-5. They won and then lost 5 and then won tonight. So 2-7 in the last 7, or 2-5 in the last 7. 11, 10th game in the last 11 that are clutch games. Warriors are 3-0 the first game of back-to-backs. What does that matter? I don't know. But the Warriors do play the Timberwolves at Chase Center tomorrow. 99 points, only the third time this year the Warriors have been held under 100. First win of the year when they're held under 100. The Warriors did win last year. You got to go all the way back to February. They won 97-84 over Charlotte, so it's not pretty there. Warriors held the Rockets to 37.6% shooting, 5-0 when they hold opponents under 40. So defense, to your point, huge. And the Warriors 24-39 tonight, improved to 24-39 in games all time where Steph and Draymond don't play, which you would think, yeah, you're not going to be very good. So since Steph and Draymond have been together, 2012, there have been the 63 games that they have not played, and the Warriors are 24-39.
So they're 4-0 without Steph this year?
They are 4-1. They lost to OKC.
I forgot about that one, yeah.
But almost won.
That's right.
They almost pulled it off. But, yeah, they beat the Pelicans twice, and they've beaten Houston twice without Steph Curry. Lost to OKC here in this one, and it's the first time the Warriors this season did not make 10 3-pointers in any game. First time this season. So, yeah, Warriors were 1-3 last year without Steph and Draymond, 1-0 this year, by the way, without Steph and Draymond. Kaminga, the career-high 33. Podziemski, career-high 12 rebounds. You mentioned that earlier. Kevon Looney had 11 rebounds, which is the second straight game he's had double digits in terms of rebounding. 7th 20-point game of the year for Andrew Wiggins. And the Warriors hope that they'll get Steph Curry and Draymond Green back. Steph with the bilateral knee injury management. So he's got sore knees, and they thought they needed to give him a night off. Is basically what that means. Warriors are 4-1 in games Curry hasn't played.
So done with the word bilateral, man.
Bilateral just means both. So if you have
but Christian McCaffrey, Nick Bosa,
bilateral elbow pain, it just means both your elbows are sore. Bilateral Achilles pain, that means both your, which that's a little weird to me. Like both your Achilles, same time, both your knees, same time. I don't know. Yeah, It's a little strange. Draymond left calf tightness, MRI clear, second game of the season, second straight game. Where's your 1-on-1 without Draymond? He had started every game before Tuesday in Denver. Greg, appreciate you, brother. You did not have to stick around for an entire, basically hour and 50-minute show. But I sincerely appreciate you for doing it. And everybody in the YouTube chat appreciates you for doing it. And again, as we still are in triple digits in terms of people that are watching this show, even at 11:30, appreciate you.
You said it, triple digits. I don't do it for credit. I'm doing it here for the love of the game.
And make sure you listen to Greg Silver tomorrow with Greg Papa right here on KNBR. KNBR 10 to 2 right here every day, Monday through Friday on the Sports Leader. Kyle Haar, some final thoughts for you, my friend. You get to shout out everybody. I know it was a Ryan McCarthy night. Kyle, you get a final take, man. Jonathan Kaminga, the GOAT, whatever you want, brother. It's your floor.
Well, yeah, no, first off, shout out the guys in the back for getting the sound, Ryan McCarthy and Anthony Garcia. And no, I thought we all needed this Kaminga game. I feel like after a couple bad games, he was due, and when he made that layup, I think we were all fired up.
Yeah, no, it was an unbelievable finishing play on a signature night to Jonathan Kaminga's career. So thanks to Kyle Haar in our San Francisco studios. Thanks to Ryan McCarthy. Thanks to Anthony Garcia. Thanks to Greg Silver. For Mike and Julia and Matt and Paco and Ivan and Gordo and everybody out here at Harmonic Brewing, Austin Scott as well in the digital department. I'm JD. We're right back at it tomorrow right here on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader.
Now down to 10. Now he's got Van Vliet on him. Kaminga to the rim. New career high in the bucket. But again, stick with the ball screens.
Really wanted to go get that ball.
Emirates Cup or bust.
Oh, hell yeah.
First of all, you got to start off liking each other.
I'm super cereal.
Big fat dub.
Ain't nobody going to stop me.
I just wake up and I can shoot it no matter if I'm playing or not.
But great win.
Who are these guys?
I love you, JD. Bye, sugar.